Hey guys, here's a quick video on just how to create a really basic search box on your website. So just quick, I'm working through this little case study site here, and I'm just going to put a search bar right here in the main content area, so it's nothing fancy. And when you submit it, it's going to send the results to a second page called search results, and that is going to run a query on our database, pull back results and display them on the screen. So the first thing is, in my code view here, I'm gone down, I'm just going to scroll down, there's the top of the code. I'm going to scroll down until wherever my content area is, which appears to be right here. And I'm just going to code in a form. So in HTML there's no PHP really required for this part. Well, actually, better put some text in there, so something along those lines. And then I'm just going to have a form that looks a bit like this, so just name it. That's a good idea. Now the method here, which I'm putting in, this is the method which the information is going to be sent to the next page. Now I'm going to use the post method. We've used the get method in recent times, but I'm going to use the post method for this one. The action is where it's going to be sent to when we push the submit button. So this is the search results.php page, which you guys would not have created yet. So I'm just going to clear a few lines and close that form tag. So everything between these two tags will be part of our form. So I am going to put in, first of all, an input, a text field input. So it's just input as the tag, name, and I'm just going to call it search. The type is text. And now I can set the size, in other words that's how wide it is. So I'm just going to set it to be 40 characters, and also the max length I'm just going to put to 50. I can't imagine people are going to make anything longer than that. And so that will be the search box. In effect, if I duck out to the design view briefly, you can see there's my text box. Back in the code, I'll just add in the button. So again, it's an input. The type is a submit button. The name is going to be submit. So that's the text that we'll see. Oh, sorry, no, that's the type. Yeah, it's the name of the button. Sorry. And this value is what you will see on the button. So that's the text. So there's the code for that. So it's a submit button. That's the type. And in design view, you can see now there's a little submit button. It says search on it. And you can see in the properties down the bottom, it has said it's a submit form. So what this means is when we click on this button, it is going to call this action, which is going to send information to the search results page, and the method that it's going to use is the post method. So I'm going to save that. You can go ahead and upload that if you want. You can just pause the video and do that. But I'm just going to keep moving on and go to my search results page. Now before I do, notice the name of that in text box was search. So that is the little bit of information that we're going to be looking for on the second page. So I'm going to come into my search results page. Now the first thing I want to do is just double check before I run any queries, has somebody come to this page by searching? Because if they don't, then any query that I run could result in an error. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually run a quick if statement that just says if something happens, then do whatever's inside here. And basically, if they didn't come by search, I'm going to send them off back to the index page. Right. So this basically means if this thing is true, do whatever's inside the braces, and this is going to redirect them back to index. So inside the if condition, so that's inside those smooth brackets, what I'm going to do is check and see if something has not been set. So it's an exclamation mark and then is set. Now that means it is not set, and then I'll just do open and close brackets after it, because is set is a function and it's going to check this function on whatever's inside those two brackets. The thing that I'm checking is post, $_post this time, and then search. So in other words, if something has not been posted and it's not called, and that thing is called search, if that does not exist, then the code below this is not going to run. We're just going to get bumped straight back to the index page. However, if it does exist, then we can go ahead and run a query. And remember, I do this in 3 steps. So the first one, I'm going to write search_SQL. Remember, the prefix kind of indicates what I'm looking for, so in this case it's just a search. and then the suffix here is the state, which one of those three steps this is. Now my first step is to create a query, and I'm not going to put the query in just yet. I'm just going to set up the code so it's ready to go. And then I've got my search underscore query. Now this is where the results of that query are going to be placed. So when I run the query on line 7 here, this runs it, the results will be put in here. And remember those results come back and they're quite disorganized, so we can't use them very well. So what we need to do on the next line is organize them into some kind of record set where we can actually do something with it. And the PHP command for that is this mySQL fetch assoc, or associative. And the thing that it is organizing is the thing on the previous line, so it's this search query here. So there's my 3 steps. What I do need to do though is put this query in. So I'm just going to quickly duck out to PHP myAdmin to show you roughly what we're doing. In the past we have done select queries. We've said select everything from a table, and we might say where stock ID equals 1, and that's going to bring back all the records where there's an exact match. But what I'm going to do here is for my search, I'm just going to say where the name, instead of being equal to, is like something, and then whatever it's like goes inside these apostrophes. So for example, if I said like skirt, means that skirt is there. The problem is, well, not problem I guess, but this is still, when I just put it in exactly like that, it's the same as putting an equal sign. But if I want to make this put wildcard text around it, in other words, skirt could be surrounded by other characters, so it could be in the middle of a sentence, or it could be at the start of a line or at the end of a line. I'm going to put a percentage sign around it, and what that will do is that will bring back any record that has skirt somewhere in the name field. I can also include, as I can go, or description is like, and the same thing. Okay, so if I ran that, that will bring back any records in this table that have the word skirt somewhere in their name or description fields. Okay, so this is pretty much the query that I'm going to run in Dreamweaver. So I'll just duck back in here. I'm just going to paste that in. Now obviously skirt is not going to be skirt. That's going to be this dynamically set, because that's going to be coming from this bit above and from the search field. So you can see how I've got all these characters. It looks pretty messy, but we'll get there. So where I've got the word skirt, I'm just going to remove that, and what I need to do is I need to find a way of concatenating or joining on that stuff that was posted through from the other page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to temporarily break out of the query with speech marks, put a full stop to concatenate, and then do my $_post search. Then I'm going to do a full stop to join on the rest of the query, and then speech marks to restart the query. It looks very messy, I know. Now I need to do the same thing over here. So where the word skirt was, I'm just going to temporarily stop the query, put a full stop to concatenate, $_post, put the search stuff in there, then concatenate to join on the end of the query, speech marks to restart it. And now what I have is a nice query that is going to search through the stock table, and it's going to go to the name and description fields and look for anything that contains whatever somebody entered in their search field. Okay. So that's the first part of it. Now the second part is displaying the results. So I'm actually just going to copy my little check at the top here, and oh, actually no, I don't need to do that, sorry. Don't worry about that. I'm going to go back down to the content area. Where's my main content? Right here. Okay. And the first thing is I'm just going to put in a little heading saying search results. And what I need to do is put a little check in, and I just realised I've made a mistake. Before we do anything, sorry, go back up. Forgot something up here. If there are no search results, this could actually end up returning an error. So this could come back being blank or empty, which means this line is going to fail because this query, or this command rather, has nothing to organise. So I better put a quick if statement around that first. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick if statement. So if whatever's in there is true, then we will run what's in between these braces, which is this query. Okay. So the thing that we're checking is a quick MySQL function, MySQL num_rows. So it's built into PHP, so it should go that blue color. And then $search _query. Blah, blah, blah. is not equal to 0. So that's question mark equals means not equal to. So what this is really saying is if the number of rows in here is not equal to 0, then we're going to try and organise it. It means basically there is something in that variable there. So that should avoid any errors at the top. Now when I come back down to here, obviously I want to provide a loop that will display all those results, because there could be more than one. But of course I don't want that loop to fail if there are no results, so I need to do very much the same thing down here. So what I'll do is I'll put in that same if statement. So if something is true, then we're going to do whatever's in there. So what we're checking to see is true is if the number of rows, and there's the two, and remember this is a function, so it has to be followed by the two brackets. And the thing it's checking is, what was it again? Search query. If that doesn't equal 0, then we're going to do whatever's inside here. Otherwise, we're going to do something else. In fact, I'll put this in now. Else, we will just display, I don't know, no results found, something like that. So in other words, if this does not equal 0, so there are some results there, we're going to put a loop in here that displays it. Otherwise, we're just going to say no results found. So in here, in this loop, what I want to do is put in a do while loop. So I'm going to go do the following things while something is true, and the thing that is true is this search res equals mySQL fetch associative, and the thing that is organising was search query. And that is very similar to all the other do while loops that you've been doing, so hopefully there's nothing new there. And the thing that we want to do is I want to put in a new paragraph, and then I want it to I'm just going to have it echo the name. So because I'm going to put a paragraph tag in here, I just need to temporarily stop the PHP, and then I'll just restart it down here. And I'll put in a paragraph tag. Inside that paragraph tag, I'm just going to echo the name from that stock table, and then I'll close the paragraph. So obviously you could do things like you could put a link tag in here around it if you want to link it. You could put the thumbnail image in there or stuff like that. Like there's all sorts of things you can do, but I'm just going to have the name just to show you how this works. So I'm just going to save that and I'll upload it, and we'll go to the page and test it. So here we go. If I go to this site here, here's our search bar. If I search on things that contain the word skirt, for example, and hit search, up comes a result. There they are. And you can see these two here are dresses, but I'm guessing somewhere in the description the word skirt appears, which is why they've appeared in that list. And ultimately in your sites you'd want to turn those into links. On the other hand, if I come back to my search bar and I search for something that will not be in there, like the meaning of life, and hit search, there we go, no results match your search. So we've done a little bit of error catching. So that is a very quick lesson on how to do a very simple search bar. I'll put the code on Moodle for those of you in my class, so if you really desperately need it, you can go grab it there. Watch the video, go back, listen. If you've got any questions, just let me know. Good luck.